Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be making trees using Scotch Brite. So Scotch Brite's pretty cheap. You can buy packs of about 8 to 10 sheets of it from most hardware stores and most just regular shops, to be honest with you. It's quite hard wearing stuff. Yeah, it's used for cleaning and scrubbing stuff down. So yeah, you should be able to find it anywhere. So I'm going to be using two different methods today using the Scotch Brite. So the first, as you can see here, making a real mare, just trying to shred it down into sort of a fibery type pile. And then for the second style of trees, I've just decided I'm going to go really quick, really easy, and see if I can make reasonably good looking trees without putting in too much effort. So I'm just chopping the Scotch Brite down more or less into triangular shapes. So once we've got them together, again the trunk types that we're going to be using are sticks, and also I will try and do some using some skewers as well, so just wooden skewers that you can buy again in any old store. But the first one's the Scotch Brite that I kind of tried to fray and make fibrous. That's what we're going to go with first. So just make a hole in the fibre and then push it over the top of the stick. If you are using sticks, just be warned that you will want to be careful, because if you put too much pressure on it, then it's going to snap. So yeah, just take it easy and make a hole through the fibres first, like I was doing there. Then you can just push them down, spread them out, and shape your tree into the desired look. You could use this method for multiple different scales, so if you're looking at 6mm, you probably wouldn't want to use this method because it would be quite small and you'd be better off just going for sort of like a bulk forest. But probably anything from about 10 to 12mm and above, you could easily use this method to get good looking trees. So yeah, it just depends on what you're actually looking for. Yeah, overall comes up to a reasonably decent little shape. Then the second one, as I mentioned, we're going to be making into the sort of triangular, quick, cheap, easy type of tree. So again, make a hole through your triangle of Scotch Brite, and then once you made that hole, push the stick through. So basically exactly the same as the previous method. But just take your time. And then you end up with some pretty sort of funky looking tree shapes. And then what I've done here is I go back around each of them, and where the Scotch Brite meets the actual trunk itself, that's where I'm putting in a nice chunk of glue and sort of spinning it slightly just to make sure that there's a good bit of hold. You could have painted the whole stick using the glue first, just trying out different methods. But yeah, just make sure you get your foliage, let's call it that, laid down in the right direction before you finish and before you leave it to dry. But overall, it's pretty quick, pretty easy, not too much of a fuss to do, and you can make some pretty interesting different shapes. in this method. It's probably one of the easier ones to do when it comes to the trees. Once I get to the end, I probably wouldn't use these sort of triangular style again. Maybe for D&D, yeah, then it'd probably be okay. Or if you're doing topiaries, it'd probably be okay. But probably not just for a tree for a forest, in my opinion. But maybe you like that sort of look. So now, once we get to the next stage, we are spray gluing all of the trees, all of the foliage. And again, I would recommend wearing gloves rather than just putting it straight on with your hands. And I am using thyme as the first layer. You can see coming out of the herb pot there. So the thyme does have quite a cool sort of needle look to it. So yeah, I would say experiment with different herbs because they do give you quite cool effects. And then once they are all glued and all flocked, then I go over them all with a mixture of PVA and water, or watered down PVA, just to spray into them, lock everything in place, and give it a nice solid protected finish. Then I put them outside to dry for a few hours, and then we end up with some pretty interesting trees. So you can definitely see the difference between the centre and front right, which were where I picked out the flock and made it sort of more fibrous. That's those two. And the other two, which were more triangular chunks, and they kind of look more like some sort of cake. But they all do the job, quick and easy. I put the rocks on the bases more just to make them not fall over, rather than anything else. But yeah, overall, nice and quick and easy. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Please leave any comments as well, and I'll see you next time.